Hello and welcome to a new episode of Work Friends Podcast. My name is Tyler. I'm your host. I think I forgot to actually introduce myself on last week's episode, but that's okay. I think everyone knows for the most part who I am. Anyway, so this show is kind of all about, what my friends do for a living and their stories of, how they got there. So today I'm joined by my good friend Emma. Hey, Emma. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right. Thank you for coming over and joining me on the show.
Anytime.
Yeah, and also thank you for shout out Wasabi Sushi. She picked up sushi on the way over here.
We're not sponsored, but if you want to.
That's right. Yeah, if you would like to sponsor us, I always like to support local businesses anyway. But it was really good. I did have avocado, which it turns out I'm actually a little slightly allergic to.
He forgot.
I forgot a little bit. I kind of wanted to test it out, honestly, because it's been a while. I wanted to see if I was still allergic. It turns out I am. So anyway, here we are. I'll try not to die this episode. And
Heck yeah.
Cool. Well, anyway, yeah, thank you again for joining me. And you want to kind of get into it? So you kind of know how the show goes, right?
Yeah. I've watched a few episodes.
Nice.
I listen to it when I'm on the plane for work.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate
nice.
you listening. Thank you. Yeah, so just kind of like I like to start kind of with where my guests were born, like kind of where they were raised and kind of grew up. So were you born around Richmond?
I was. Cool. I grew up in Richmond.
Same.
Most of my family lives here in Richmond.
Okay, interesting. So family's all kind of around here. You were raised, born and raised around here. You'd also mentioned that your family was pretty Roman Catholic, you said?
Yes, very, very Catholic.
Does that also kind of like play into where you went to school? Like
it definitely did. So okay. To describe how Catholic my family is.
How Catholic are they?
My uncle, who is the priest.
Okay. Yeah, very Catholic. That's right.
Yes.
As Catholic as you can be.
Really, but it gets even more if you can believe. So when he was in college, I think like a year or two after, he decided to become a priest.
Okay.
Shortly after he graduated, he had a girlfriend at the time. Feel bad for her.
Yeah, I'm sure she wasn't.
She had a happy life now.
Okay, that's good.
But when he decided to become a priest, he was like, "There's only one way to do that, and that is to go to North American College in the Vatican." In Rome. So he packed up and moved out there, learned Italian.
Does he live there now?
Became a priest. No, he lives in New Hampshire.
Okay.
He lives up there pretty much full time. He comes down for holidays and visits. But yeah, when my uncle does something, he has to do it right, and that was how to become a priest in his eyes.
Apparently so.
I remember my dad telling me a story of like the first time he ever like met my uncle.
Okay.
And
your mom's brother, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
And so when the reason why I put it in air quotes is because he didn't meet him. He saw him on TV presiding over Easter Mass with Pope John Paul II at the time.
That's crazy.
So, and my dad was not religious growing up. Like they were, but not like Catholic.
Yeah.
I believe they might have been Baptist, but my dad did like holiday church. Like it wasn't like an every Sunday thing. And then when he met my mom, he was like, "Oh, it's an every Sunday thing."
We gotta go every Sunday.
And we did for most of my childhood. We went to church every Sunday. I started off going to St. Bridget's school, which is also a church, and that was the church we attended.
Yeah, it's for like elementary school, I guess.
Yeah, it was a K through 12, and then second grade comes around, and my eyesight starts to get blurry, and I get dyslexia and ADHD diagnoses, and it just compiled to where my parents were like, "We're just going to pull y'all out and put you in public school." So we went to elementary in Henrico, and then Tuckahoe Middle School. And from there, my brother, he went to Benedictine College Preparatory, and then I was put into St. Gertrude's. And I say that because my mother did not really give me a choice.
I see. Yeah, I noticed that you said he went to and you were put into. Okay.
My mom wanted me to go back, and like honestly, in retrospect, I am glad I went to St. Gertrude. I did try my hardest not to go there. I failed one of my classes, hoping that they would say no, but then my mom made me explain why I was failing, and then made me get my grade up, and I'm thankful at the end of the day because St. Gertrude gave me a great education.
Yeah, you did one of those like smart kid things where like I'm so smart I'll fail on purpose.
Exactly. And it was the English, which was for me the easiest class to fail because I did not like English classes. It was not,
they're so boring.
Well,
English could be so cool, but they make you read the most boring books ever written.
They really do. Yeah, they try to get you in Shakespeare when you're young, and
No
it
one's
worked
ever-
on me. I was that kid who...
Okay. No shit. I was going to say no one has ever...
No one likes Shakespeare. I'm over
Anyway.
here like, I carry the whole complete works every day.
Never mind.
But honestly, it was actually because Shakespeare was kind of challenging for me to read. Being dyslexic, reading is very difficult.
So I know in like when you were in high school, you did a couple plays and musicals and
Yes,
things?
we did do Midsummer Night's Dream.
Nice.
I was part of Puck's trope. So I don't remember which character name, but I was the lion.
Nice.
That
Okay.
was the role that my character played, because we were the play within the play.
There was a play within a play?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
you've never read Midsummer or seen Midsummer?
I mean, it's been 20 years.
Fair. So you came and saw us. Thanks.
I might have. I don't remember. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So that was your. So did you do anything into college when you did? Like, did you continue acting, do drama club or anything like that? Or?
So we skipped over one big part of my life.
All right. That's okay.
Which was dance.
Oh, right. Okay. Which I was getting to that too. I had that in college though.
Yes,
Okay.
but that started for me when I was 3.
Okay.
My mom put me in dance classes.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I had no
absolutely
idea.
love dance. And
Nice. So you did that for how? Like total? How long?
I did it until I was 18.
Okay.
So
3 to 15 years.
Yeah, 16 years.
Nice.
16
That's a
years
long
I
run.
danced. And then when I went to college, I tried out for the dance team 3 times.
3 separate times. Okay.
And they said no every time, so I ended up joining a belly dance group.
Okay. Belly dance crew. I have like a belly dance club.
Yeah,
Okay.
we had a belly dance club there.
That's what that's what I had.
We can dive more into that when we get to the college portion of it.
Yeah, sure thing. So I have to pee again because I have the
Okay.
bladder of
I
a
was
small
going to check
child.
it.
So we will take a quick break and we will be right back, folks. Sorry. Hey, pardon the interruption. I wanted to take a second to thank our first sponsor, BetterHelp. Let's be real, work can be a lot. Whether it's that one coworker who emails you like it's a legal battle, a boss who thinks urgent means right now, or just the quiet dread of another Monday. Sometimes you need more than venting to your work friends. That's where BetterHelp comes in. It's therapy, but online. It's flexible and built around your schedule. You can chat with licensed therapists by text, phone, or video. There's no waiting rooms, no commute, no awkward small talk with strangers in scrubs. It's not too weird. Your mental health matters, and not just when you're in full meltdown mode. Even a little support can go a long way in helping you feel more grounded, more focused, and honestly just more you, more human, want to feel like a person again. So I've used BetterHelp. It's great. I like it personally. I can vouch for it. So if you've been thinking about therapy, check out betterhelp.com/workfriends. You'll get 10% off your first month just for trying it out, just for being part of the crew. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/workfriends with an S, workfriends. Take care of your mind. Work will be there tomorrow. Hey, we're back.
Yep, we're back.
Short break. So we were talking about
Dance.
and that and your experience
And my
in-
journey throughout it.
Yep.
Yes. But yeah, I got through high school barely at some points.
Like
Amber.
academic
Yeah.
wise, you mean? Okay.
As I got older, I realized academia was not my strong suit. And then I went to college, which you're probably sitting there going, like, if you knew academia was not good for you. We'll get into that.
Well, hey, I mean, I get it. I don't think academic. I mean, I'm not the brightest bulb in the box.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I don't think. Like now, I feel like if I went back to school, it would be for me. But back then, it wasn't for sure.
Yeah.
Like right now, you could sit me in a classroom and I'd actually want to be there and learn. But back then, 10 years ago,
I
wasn't.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I had no. Oh, now you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
I like
no.
learning stuff now.
But when college time came, well, 2 years prior, I got to go to a bunch of colleges because my brother was applying for college.
Okay.
He ended up going to Hampton-Sydney
Oh,
down
yeah.
in Farmville.
near where you went to school.
Yes. And when we were down there, we checked out Longwood. And so when I was going into senior year, Longwood had a program where you could bring your SAT scores, your transcripts, and your essay. At like 9 a.m., you hand it.
Sure, Mike.
And then, sorry.
No, it's okay.
At 9 a.m., you hand it into them. And then around 3 or 4, they would give you an answer on whether or not you were accepted.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you would take a tour around the campus, and you would get to see everything, and then they would pull you back in and tell you yes or no. And if it was a no, they would tell you how to improve your transcript so that it would be a yes. It was a very beneficial program.
Yeah, because you were still in like high school.
Yeah, it was the summer before.
Okay, yeah.
So
Just
it was
finished junior
like,
year.
I think it was August when I went and did that.
Wow.
And so we went through the tour, got back, and I was accepted. And then the only other school I applied to was Christopher Newport.
I was going to ask because that's where your best friend went.
Yes, that is where Amber went. And I got waitlisted. So I ended up just going to Longwood because I was like, they already said yes. I also have major anxiety of just like holding out on waiting to make the decision. Because I was like, what if I make the decision too late? And Longwood goes, never mind.
Yeah, you wanted to get it over with.
Exactly. So I ended up going to Longwood, which was a choice. That was a choice.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. I also went to Longwood.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't hang out or
no, but you dated a girl who always hung out in my dorm room freshman year.
No kidding.
Yes. I didn't remember her that well, but she hung out with one of my suite mates, Kelsey, in Fraser on the 7th floor.
You went straight from high school to Longwood, right?
Yes. I didn't realize that there was an option that I could just not go to school.
That is an option, which I also didn't know about. But
my parents very much wanted me to get a college education.
Yeah, that's what everyone our age grew up like.
Yeah,
that was hammered into them.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
very
that
much
or go to like trade school.
Right, but even for like my parents, it was like trade school wasn't really like a viable option.
Yeah.
Which is really funny considering that my dad graduated high school, moved to Richmond, and joined a band and lived in this little house with 7 other guys, and then he met my mom and then went back to college and got his degree.
Nice.
But
Met a
my
lady
mom
and got it together.
Yeah.
What made you choose Longwood? Like, was there any?
I didn't get accepted anywhere else.
That's right. Okay, yeah, we already went over this. That's right.
Yeah, but I didn't get anywhere else.
Did you know? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, did you know like when you were going into college what you were going to college for, or were you just going because you were kind of told that was the next step? Like you're done with high school.
I had an idea. So by that point, I had discovered video editing. I was deep into YouTube.
We got there, guys. We did it. I always like to do that with every guest. Like,
but I was deep into YouTube.
Okay.
I was like obsessed with the Vlog Brothers, Smosh. I was
Smosh, yeah.
and I'm still a big Smosh fan. Just finished watching Summer Games.
So
yeah.
Were you into like Rooster Teeth and Funhouse and all that stuff?
A little bit, but not that
much,
heavily.
Not like me.
I ended up on like a very like influencer side of YouTube. Yes, Jenna Marbles was very popular on that side. I hate to admit it. I was for a little bit a Shane Dawson fan.
Oh, okay.
I did not watch his previous videos. I found out about them. Google him.
Okay.
But I found out about them and I was like, never mind. But I watched Jenna Marbles. I watched Emma Chamberlain. There was one specific group. I can't remember what their YouTube name is because it's different now because the channel is owned only by one person now. But they were a cosplay group, and it was the one that got me intrigued into cosplay.
Okay.
They did. Too. Yeah, we can go back to that because that's a whole story.
Okay. So when did you get into cosplay?
In high school.
Okay, so you were already into that by college time.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, there was another girl who was a year ahead of me that I was friends with. Her name was Emma. Also,
Whoa.
We were called Emma Squared whenever we were hanging out together. But we were both big fans of Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
We were really, really big into Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts is a video game from the early 2000s.
But we were both really big fans, and we discovered a YouTube channel that did a show called Demix Time.
Demix Time?
Demix Time.
Okay.
And Demix is a character from the second video game. They're part of this group called the Organization 13. But these two people who lived in England, they do a bunch of different cosplays now, but him and his girlfriend at the time did this show called Demix Time, and they were cosplaying as Demix and Axel, who was another character from this video game. And they had other friends who would come in and play other organization members, but it was just unhinged, and it was really, really funny and goofy.
Okay.
I learned one of my favorite words from them: floxinoxophy hillophilification.
Whoa. Are we gonna get fined for that?
No, it's just a word, but it was just such a silly little group, and it got me intrigued in cosplay. And one of my first cosplays was Axel.
Okay.
And Emma did Demix. We did that for Halloween, and then I didn't cosplay again until college.
Nice. Wait, maybe we should explain for people who maybe don't know what cosplaying is. I mean, I think most people.
So cosplay, for those of you who don't know, is essentially short for costume play, and what that means is you dress up as a character from anything, and you cosplay as that character. You kind of embody them a little bit. Some people do it for photo shoots. Some people do it for TikTok videos. But for me, I mostly do it for conventions.
Okay.
I enjoy walking around conventions.
So like Comic-Con type stuff?
Yeah, I do mostly the ones that are here in Virginia. So I do GalaxyCon. I've done Collecticon once, I think. And there was another one, and I cannot remember the name of it.
That's all right. So I know like your most recent ones have been kind of like books have inspired your cosplay.
Before that, I was deep in anime cosplays. Cool, okay. So I
transition kind of from books to anime.
So it was when I was in college. I did Raven from Teen Titans. And then I don't know if you've seen Descendants.
I have heard of this show. I've heard
as
of that.
Mal, the daughter of Maleficent.
Okay.
So I did that in college, and then when I got out of college, which I didn't graduate, so I just left college. That was a long, complicated thing that we do not want to get into.
We don't need to. Can I ask why? What made you leave college? You did 5 years. You mentioned to me earlier, right?
Okay. So
if you don't want to talk about it, also we don't have to.
I won't go into like too crazy detail. Twice in a row. One time, definitely my fault. Second time, probably more on the professor than me.
I blame them.
The chair of the communication department eventually kind of was like, you're in the right there.
Oh, okay. You know what? You've told me that story before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But twice I was about to graduate and fell short. Again, once of them was 100% my fault. But another one, I think it was a combo of me and the professor just never being on the same page. Okay. So I ended up going through a very traumatic relationship while I was there.
Sorry to hear
and that. It's fine. It built character.
Yeah.
And don't take that advice.
I wish that
don't.
I wish that I would stop developing character. I got so much.
I was
character.
like, you got enough character. We need to find you a good girl. We need to find you a good one. You're such a good guy. We need to find you a good girl.
Thank you.
But yeah, I got in this really toxic relationship, and I stayed for an extra semester, and it kind of just blew up in my face. The last like 2 months of college, I got super heavily depressed, and I was just not participating, just not doing anything good. And part of that was because the previous semester something had fallen through that was more on them than me.
I see.
And it did not motivate me for the next semester.
Yeah.
And so I ended up just leaving, and I tried multiple times to go back, but
you don't need it. I mean,
I have put, instead of putting my trauma on a singular person, which I probably could, but instead of doing that, I put it on the town itself. Okay. So I cannot step foot back in Farmville.
Understandable.
Last time I tried, I had a panic attack on 360 and ended up like, you know where that Whole Foods right before it gets to the woods? Now from 288 to there, I drove. I do not remember it. And I ended up in the Whole Foods parking lot calling Josh, and he was freaking out because I was like incoherent.
Yeah. So this is like not too long ago.
No, that was around 2021 that happened. But yeah, I've thought about going back to college. I've thought about going like online route. But everywhere I looked, I would have to do 2 more years worth of schooling in order to get my degree. And I could go back to Longwood and just take 2 classes.
Yeah.
But prime time to have done that would have been 2020 during the pandemic, because everything was online.
You didn't have to go physically be there.
Exactly. But I did not take advantage of that. And I instead looked to do that around like 2022, and I was like, well, I got a full-time job. I'm not driving to Farmville.
I mean, honestly, like, you kind of got your life together. Like, you're married now, you got your own place, you got a job that's like full-time and pays you pretty good.
Yeah,
you don't need college.
Yeah, you know. And for what I want to do and what I am doing, college, while it's beneficial, it's not the end-all be-all for it. Not. A lot of the people who are in my line of work at my current job don't have college degrees. Yeah. They just have experience, because at the end of the day, when it comes to an editor, that's what matters.
That is true.
Yeah. I think with my line of work being a video editor, you can 100% benefit from college, but if you're going to college, you should go to a specialty one that like focuses on film, television. Longwood didn't have a program like that. So when I went, I was a theater minor and a digital media communications major.
Okay. You went into with the mindset of going into like...
Yeah. I was like, that was the closest I could get to production style degree.
Okay.
So I was like, theater will teach me and how to direct, how to do stage production, set design, all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, the communications degree taught me how to use Sony 4K cameras, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro. Which is
helpful to have. I don't know how to use any of that stuff. I had to figure out how to use Audacity alone. Like, it's not hard, but...
But I actually started making videos in high school.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, I was deep in YouTube. I absolutely loved it. I do have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
I will not.
You don't want to promote it?
No.
Okay.
There isn't. The videos on there are not good. I will openly admit them. They are done on a very bad camera. They're mostly just like my travel little diaries that when I went to Italy and France a couple of times, it's like those cities through my eyes, but cool. On a very poor camera.
That's all right. I would like that's cool.
I also did one on like a work camp that I went to. It's called Catholic Heart Work Camp.
Okay, it sounds way worse than it is.
It definitely did when I said it like that, and I realized it as it came out. But that was a summer program. They're still around, where churches will gather some of their youth, and they will go around the country for 1 week somewhere and get back to the community. One year I went to Pennsylvania near Hershey and painted someone's house, and then cool. For like 3 or 4 years back to back went to North and South Carolina building wheelchair ramps.
Okay, yeah. Keith I remember him doing that a couple times, I think.
I wonder if we ever went to the same one, because that would be really cool if we did.
Yeah, I'll ask.
I don't know. I guess it would depend on where Keith was, because we didn't really... There was only one time where another Virginia church was really? At the camp with us, because a lot of times the groups that I would go with would be like a group from Tennessee, a group from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
There was a group from Pennsylvania one time, which that was a...
Go Birds.
I got another story with that. I'll tell you later.
No.
But one time there was a Virginia church, and it was actually my uncle's church.
Oh, the guy who went to Italy and...
Yep, my priest, nice. My priest uncle. And it was really funny because he found out, I think about 2 days before we went on the trip, that I was going on that same trip. Nice. He wasn't on that trip.
Oh, okay.
The priests of your parish rarely ever came with you. It was usually a handful of youth leaders and then kids ranging from like 8th grade to senior year of high school.
Gotcha.
But that year, his church participated for the first time.
Okay.
And it was really funny because I showed up and instantly they pegged me. They were like, "You're our father's niece,
Oh
aren't
my
you?"
gosh.
And I was like, "Oh god,
Yeah,
I can't do anything on this trip, or else it's going to get back to him." Not that I did anything bad on those trips.
But
I was a good Catholic girl at the time.
Sure. I'm sure they knew because of the red hair, probably.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Joseph and I are the only redheads in our entire family. Everyone else is tan and blonde.
Where does that come from?
It comes from both grandmothers.
Okay.
Ironically enough, the super Italian grandmother, redhead. And then my father's mother, Mimi, I think she was pure Irish. So she had,
Pure Irish.
Yeah, she had red hair, and it skipped a generation.
Sounds like a soap.
Yeah.
Pure Irish.
But my parents both had the recessive gene, so they had a 1 in 4 chance of getting redheaded kids, and they got 2.
Hey, look at that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good statistics for them there. But yeah, that's where that comes from.
Okay.
But
so you left college, and
I did.
What'd you do after that? What happened then? Where'd you go?
So when I left Longwood, I took a month to kind of try to figure myself out. Went to a Panic at the Disco concert.
I thought you were saying I panicked. I went
I mean,
to
I did panic at a disco during a Panic at the Disco concert.
That's pretty good.
I guess. I mean, it wasn't a disco. It was
concert.
Yeah, it was a concert hall at UVA. Funny enough, my boyfriend had gotten me tickets to go see them a year prior, and then we broke up. Ooh. And a week after we broke up, I texted him and I was like, "Hey, I'll pay you for the tickets. Like, I want my tickets."
Yeah.
He had already sold them. I'm willing to bet he sold them well before we broke up.
Yeah, he definitely sold them.
He probably sold them, but my dad saw how sad I was, and so he bought me a ticket. And they were such better seats.
Oh, nice.
Brendan, Yuri, and I made eye contact.
Hey,
it was great.
There you go. That's pretty cool.
Fuck you.
I saw him.
Not him, but the guy.
Yeah, right. I saw Brendan Yuri do a backflip off a bass drum once.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It was a pretty good show. It was Pray for the Wicked.
Nice.
It was a fun show. But I did that, and then I started working at a restaurant in Richmond called Firebirds. And I had worked as a server before.
You had?
Yeah.
Where before had you worked?
At this country club called Jefferson Lakeside. It's by Lewis Ginter Botanical Gardens.
All right. So that was while you were, I guess, in high school, probably? That you did that?
Yes. Okay. That was during high school. That was my sophomore, junior, senior, and my first year at Longwood.
Well, okay. That's a long career there.
Yeah.
Like
I worked there every summer and winter, and it was pretty fun. I had been going to that club ever since I was a kid. So my family was not well known, but like some people knew me from when I was a kid, which was really nice. But it was pretty funny because when I got the job, my dad was like, "One rule: you don't throw my name around."
Yeah.
And I was like, fair, like you're the member, not me. I just come and eat mozzarella sticks with Amber.
That sounds pretty cool.
That's what we would do for my birthday. We would go to the pool, chill outside, and eat mozzarella sticks.
A solid birthday.
It was a solid birthday for like 4 years. Yeah. I very much appreciate her doing that. With me.
That would be a solid birthday. That would be one of my top 5 birthdays now.
Yeah, it was great. It was honestly great. Mozzie sticks and a pool.
That'd be great.
What else could you ask for? But there was this one time where I had to break my dad's rule.
Oh.
It was like I think 2 or 3 summers into me working there.
Okay.
And my dad had become the vice president of the board, and his friend Al was the president. And Al's known me since I was a kid, and
Big
obviously
Al.
my dad has known me.
Mm-hmm. Your dad's known you since you were a kid?
Yes, he's known me since birth.
That's good.
But I had just gotten to work that day. Like, I think I had clocked in maybe 5 minutes before this interaction starts.
Uh-oh.
I count the register. I'm all set. This lady comes up. I had horrible service today. This was the worst experience of my life. You've never come around.
The worst?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Right. I'm like, okay, lady, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you. You're damn lucky.
For real.
But she was like, no one's come around to take my order at the pool. No one's refreshed my drinks, blah, blah, blah. You haven't been around, and I can't believe I want your name.
I just got here.
And I looked at her. I was like, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I just got here, but I will gladly give you my name. My name's Emma. And I'm printing out her ticket. I'm letting her vent because I'm used to this. People yell at us all the time.
I would say, my name's Tiffany.
Right. Well, I had a name badge.
Oh, okay.
So it took them 3 years to get me a name badge. And
Oh,
this
man,
day
of
they
course.
finally got me one. But we're standing there and this lady's just yelling at me about horrible service. I print off her ticket and I hand it to her with a pen. She aggressively X's out the tip area.
Oh my God.
Which we're getting paid minimum wage. So
Yeah,
we're not begging for tips. They're nice, but we were not begging for them. She aggressively rips part of the page with that and then signs it and goes, "No tip for you." And throws her pen at me.
That's rude. I throw it back.
Yeah. And so I was startled. I did dodge out of the way. The pen did not make a contact.
Yeah,
and she was
crazy.
The president is going to hear about this.
The president.
And at that point, I got petty. You throw a pen at me.
You're allowed to get petty.
I'm allowed to be a little petty. And I went, I'll do you one better. How about I just give him your complaint tomorrow night at dinner?
There you go.
She went so pale. And she's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Al's coming to have dinner at my dad's house tomorrow because they are the president and vice president. So how about I give both of them your complaint directly?"
Yeah, there you go.
And she was like, and at that point,
What's
my manager,
your name, lady?
yeah, at that point, my manager had come out and started hearing me, and he was giggling behind. And she was like, "It's fine," and turns and walks away.
That's pretty good.
I took her name down and went to my dad the next day. Nice. And I was like, "Dad, I know you told me never to invoke your name while I'm working at the club, but I'm sorry, this lady was a biatch.
I had to this one time.
I had to." I never saw her at the pool again.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't know if she was reprimanded or anything for it. Mm-hmm. I like to think she was just too embarrassed.
She probably was too embarrassed. That's pretty funny.
So I worked at the country club while before college and into my first year. And then while I was at Longwood, I worked as a student videographer.
A student videographer?
Yes.
Okay.
So
did you get paid for that?
I did.
Whoa.
I did. $10 an hour. It was pretty nice.
Work with my roommate by chance, Christian. We can bleep this later.
I think
he was
was he a photographer?
He was videographer, I think. By the time he left, he was head honcho there. And then afterwards, he worked at Longwood for a bit.
No, because
he did more sports stuff though.
Okay. Oh, no, we were in sports. We were specifically for Longwood's PR.
Media, social media and stuff like that.
Social media and all that. So we were filming the block party with the fireworks that we did at the start of the year.
Sponsored stuff.
We did the game. We did Color Wars. Oktoberfest, Spring Weekend, the vice presidential debate.
Did that?
Yeah, I had a media pass for that.
Okay.
So I got to meet Tim King's wife, which was really cool.
I met one of those fellows before at Laser Quest. They came in to play laser tag.
That's kind of cool.
I don't remember who it was, but one of the governors. It was years ago.
That's wild.
It wasn't Tim Kaine. It was the one before him.
But yeah, I did all that. And I worked under, it was originally Joel. Was his name?
Yeah, I know him.
He was the DJ.
I know of him.
He always DJ'd at everything with my RA Patrick.
Okay.
So it was always a blast. And then after Joel graduated, Longwood hired a man named Ryan, who was my boss, and he was great. He had won an Emmy before working at Longwood, so it was really cool working with him and learning from him. So I did videography and editing for Longwood for 3.5 years, and then when I left Longwood, I worked at a restaurant because I was trying to figure out what to do with my life because I thought if I didn't have a degree, I would never be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's what we were told growing up, right?
Yeah, that was kind of what was force fed to us, and honestly, that was kind of what St. Gertrude made it seem like.
Yeah, public schools around Chesterfield made it seem like that too. Wanted us to go to college.
Yeah, it was anyone who chose to either go to community college or not go to college, they never highlighted at school, so it made it seem like it was a bad choice.
Which is not, because community. That's what I did. I went to community college first, and
I kind of wish I did that.
Regular college, and that's what everyone says. But I kind of wish I just went to straight, college first, and then. Grass is always green on the other side. I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's tomato, whichever way you end up doing it.
That's what I'm finding out.
but yeah, then I left Longwood, and I no longer had the videography job because I was no longer a student.
When you left Longwood, did you go back to Richmond, back home, I guess?
Yeah,
okay.
I moved back home with my parents in the West End, and I started working at Firebirds as a host.
Okay. Firebirds is a fancy restaurant, right?
Yeah, it's a
like
steakhouse.
Okay.
A steakhouse out at Short Pump. So I started working there, and I worked there for about 6 months. And halfway through that, Amber hit me up and was like, "Hey, the company I work for is hiring some tellers." She worked for a credit union here. And she was like, "I know it's not what you want to do, but it's better paying than what you're doing."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'll take it."
And it's not probably better hours too.
Yeah, it was a solid job instead of me working weird days.
Yeah. Good banking hours versus a restaurant shift. I can't imagine. That had to have been
And because
day.
I was so new, I was also getting the crappy shifts.
At
Firebirds.
the Firebirds.
Yeah,
okay.
I was getting like the morning shifts, like when I wouldn't get tips. So I was not making enough to really be able to like maintain working there.
Yeah.
So I started working for the credit union as a teller, and I moved up pretty quickly. I started off just as just a teller.
We didn't say the name of the credit union, did we?
No.
Cool. I don't think we should.
I was going to say I can, but
nah,
I don't have a lot of good things to say at some point to that.
Amber said as well.
Yeah, I can tell you some stories, and those will be offline.
Okay.
But I started working as a teller. Then I ended up working as a senior teller. I got promoted about like a year after I started working there.
Yeah.
And
pretty quick.
Yeah, it was definitely really quick. And so that was I started at the branch that was closest to my house. And then I was the senior teller at the one that was near the courthouse. And then from there, I eventually became an FSR. But I was only an FSR for a few months because that's when I finally had enough and quit and decided to try to go for the dream job of being an editor.
Nice. Let me pause you real quick. I wanted to ask what an FSR was.
It's a financial service representative.
Oh, okay.
So those are the people that sit in the offices. They're the ones who
You got an office?
Yeah, I had an office.
Fancy.
It's how you would
like auto loans.
I was a loan officer essentially, so I would do auto loans, personal loans. I was working my way to doing like mortgages, but God, I did not want to do that.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, I was okay at my job. I was not the greatest, but I love the women that I worked with there. I worked there during the pandemic, so I did not have the same pandemic experience that everyone else did.
Because you had to physically be there.
I had to physically be there, even though the lobby was closed and we could only have one person in drive-through at a time because of the 6-foot notice.
Crazy.
So it was a lot of dancing to Cotton Eye Joe. We would just kill time and just have fun. I mean, we would no. Amber was at the main branch because she was working on the social media team at the time.
That's right.
And it was they limited who was coming in and out of the building. So like Amber used to come once a week, and now she came once a month to see us. So it was mostly just like my coworkers and I, like having fun, trying to keep our energy. And
what a silly time to be alive that
it
was.
It really was. I went crazy at one point.
I think I'm still crazy.
I definitely am.
I think it affected me long term. I think I like got weird during it, and I like my weirdness. I started here, and then I went up, and then the pandemic stopped. And I should have gone back down, but
you just kept going up.
Yeah, I kept going up.
Yeah, I at one point, like everyone was just so like cabin fevery that I bought one of those, like the T-Rex suits that you see people wear online, except
ones.
it's one of those inflatable men that like dance.
Yeah,
but you wear. I bought one of those.
Cool. For
and
work?
I didn't tell anyone but one person that I bought it because one of our coworkers was moving to like a different section of the branch, and so she was never going to be seen again. And I hid outside towards the end of the day, got in it, blew it up, ran across the street. And when they got to leaving, I was just sitting on the other side of the street, flailing my arm.
Flailing, trying to get her notice. Did she
Being
notice you?
so insane. They thought it was so funny.
That's awesome.
There's a video of it somewhere. But yeah, so I worked that up until like January 2022.
Okay.
And around before that, I had been talking with one of my friends who I had met at Longwood via the sorority I was in at the time.
You were in a sorority too?
I was in Alpha Sigma Tau.
I didn't know that. I don't know
I
anything about
left
sororities.
Alpha Sigma Tau. I was only in it for 3 years, and then I de-affiliated.
Only in it for 3 years. It seems like a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's where I met Kelsey.
Okay,
And Kelsey was working for the company I now work for, Snow Companies. She was an ambassador manager, and she was like, "Hey, they need video team people. Might not be a bad fit for you." And I was like, "I don't have a degree. Are they going to be okay with that?" Because I'm looking online and everything says bachelor degree required.
Right.
So she messaged the man who was the head of the department, and was like, "Hey, my friend is really big into video editing, and she's looking to get out of her current job. So do you guys happen to have like any openings?" She doesn't have a degree, but I've seen her work. She's done a lot. She was a video editor for our school for 3 years. And he was like, "Get her to send me a reel and her resume, and we'll see what we got."
Cool. Send you a reel?
Yeah. So
like a video, like an editing blurb. Like, here's what I edited
it's
together.
essentially just like a portfolio. And you can either do it in the sense of I had a bunch of public videos, so I just put them all on playlists and sent that playlist.
Oh, okay.
So he could look at them.
Seems like a good idea.
But with the videos I do now, I couldn't do that. So I would have to, if I was trying to build up a editing reel, I would take clips of things that I've edited before with no sound and put them in a video all together for like a minute, 30 seconds to show what I can do and what I have done.
Gotcha. Transitions and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I sent that all in, and I also ended up sending him my TikTok because that was the only thing that I had been keeping up with editing at that point.
Really? Okay.
I wasn't big on TikTok or anything. I had a couple like I wouldn't call them viral because they didn't get over like 50K, but like locally viral probably.
Yeah.
But I had a few videos that blew up a little bit on there.
Cool.
That I spent a lot of time editing and doing, and I think that's what put me over for them. So I went in for an interview, and originally I was offered to be a producer, but then one of the editors, the guy who was in charge of the editors, his name was Eric. He came down and he was like, "No, I want her as an editor."
Okay. Kind of handpicked.
And I was like, I'd rather do that.
I'd
rather be sitting at a desk editing any day of the week because that is my bread and butter. I absolutely love it. I could edit cheese for days.
Okay,
nothing but images of cheese, and I'd be happy.
Okay. And when you're editing, you're putting together commercials and things like that for what kind of projects are you working on typically?
So Snow Companies is a marketing firm that specializes in working with drug companies.
Okay.
Usually we tend to be working with rare diseases. But we have worked with other brands, of course. Anything from like eczema brands to cancer brands to MS. While I am not technically under HIPAA, we do sign a HIPAA form.
Okay.
So from here on out, when I talk about my work, I will only be referencing it into the idea of me as the patient and the drugs that I personally have been on.
Okay.
Because we do not work with that drug company. And then I don't have to worry about like outing anything within my work.
Okay. So we're saying
So for example,
it was on drugs.
No, being ADHD growing up, I took Adderall, Ritalin, Vyvanse,
all the good stuff.
So I will talk in the terms of if Ritalin was a brand we worked with, because they are not. We do not work with them. as far as I'm aware. I've never worked with them.
These are hypotheticals.
Yes. Yeah. But essentially, if Ritalin wanted to get a bunch of video footage of their patient stories, that's where we come in. We specialize in patient-first stories, meaning we do not hire actors. Anytime you see a video that's made by our company, the person you are watching is one of the actual patients who is taking that drug.
Okay, so at the bottom of your commercial it says, this is not a paid actor.
Yes.
Okay.
So
patients paid for their testimonials.
It would be if Ritalin decided, like, okay, we want to make a video talking about, like, a middle school girl's experience taking our medication and how it's changed her life and what it's for. Our company then puts out feelers to try to find patients who fit that description and are willing to show their stories.
Okay.
And then it would eventually come to me either via my doctor finding out about it through the company, like putting out feelers to them and being like, if you have any good candidates.
Because he probably gets like a kickback or something.
I have no clue how that works, but I know that's one of the ways that we find patients.
Okay.
And then it would come to me and I would be like, yeah, I'll tell my story. And our patients get compensated, of course. Nice. And they will sit down with us and they will tell us their story. And some of them are very sad, very tragic stories. Some of them are super fun and uplifting.
Okay.
You get a bunch of different things.
Right,
but
you get a whole mix of people coming in there.
Yeah.
Huh. Where did these people come from? Like all over the country?
All over. So we do a lot of work, obviously, within the U.S. because we are U.S. based. But we have someone who lives in Australia who does work. We've got a team, I believe. We've got, I think, 2 separate teams in Europe that we work with. And we work with drug companies over there, too. There's a little more red tape with them because, like, here we have to deal with the FDA. There they have their own set of rules that they have to follow. So I thankfully never have to deal with the technical. Nice. I only ever have to deal with the final product.
Yeah. Okay, so these people come in. Do you produce anything? Like, are you a producer technically?
No,
or
I am not a producer.
Editor?
I am just a video editor. I love our producers. I could never do their job.
Okay, and producers, just so I can clarify for me, is someone who just likes, I guess they would find the patients, they would schedule the patients, stuff like that.
Well,
schedule the testimonials. I mean,
not kind of.
Okay.
So the way that our company works, we have a account team, an ambassador team, a video team, a creative team, and a few other teams. The account team does what you think. They handle all of our drug, well, not really the money, it's more of the drug companies.
Okay, that's not
and handling the in-between with them, as well as our AT team does the same thing.
Okay.
But then there's the ambassador managers, and those are the people with the direct line to our patients.
Gotcha.
So when we need a video, they're the ones who know anything and everything about the patients, and they are recording and keeping in contact with these patients even when we aren't actively doing projects with them.
I see.
Because the companies want to make sure that everything that is online or on air is current with their conditions.
Okay, it's like all up to date. And
yeah.
That makes sense.
So like if I did a video for Ritalin like 4 years ago and I stopped taking it and I'm no longer like a patient of theirs, they would take my video off because the ambassador manager would know that.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Oh wow. Okay, so they like keep up with people.
Yeah, they keep tabs on everyone.
Interesting. Not
which
something
is really
I ever would have guessed those companies do. But
yeah,
cool.
It's really interesting because they. Again, we work with a lot of rare diseases, so those relationships are very, very special to those managers, and can be very hard sometimes because with disease comes a lot of complication, a lot of sadness, but also a lot of joy.
That's true. Yeah.
In places like when someone is cured or someone finds a drug that works for them.
Yeah, that could be nice. This is happy stories you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I like the happy stories better, definitely. Sure. But it's a really cool job because like I know people are like big pharma, and I'm also kind of like big pharma, but in the same breath, it's really refreshing actually hearing directly from someone like how much something has changed their life.
Yeah, how it's improved it, made it better. You're obviously not making commercials like this drug made everything so much worse. Like, you know.
Yeah,
like,
we're not like making the tobacco commercials.
Yeah, for the most
like,
part, you are probably
for
the most part hearing fairly uplifting stories, like
yeah,
stories
we're
with
making
a happy
like
ending for the.
Again, we don't work with this company, but we're making like Claritin commercials.
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
yeah.
we don't work
Something
with them, but it's something like that.
Something that's not life and death.
Exactly, it's a little more. I mean, again, rare diseases, life and death is always a part of it, and I mean, some of the videos the patients do talk about mortality and all of that, but it's mostly just like their journey from diagnosis to the drug that they are taking. And it's really uplifting, honestly, and it's super, super nice to feel like I'm the good part of the machine.
That's
you
good.
know?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like you're the good, like a force of good in maybe an industry that's got some like darker spaces, I guess.
Yeah.
But okay, so I guess what's the day in the life of like what's your typical work day look like? What time do you get to work? I don't know anything about what you do for a living.
So I get to work between 9 and 9:30.
Okay.
Most days I skip my lunch, that way I can leave or come in 30 minutes late or early.
Cool.
Just because I tend to just eat at my desk.
Yeah.
I bring a sandwich and I tend to eat while I work because it helps me focus.
That's good. I tend to forget personally. Like
that happens too. I have to put like a timer on my phone sometimes.
I'll eat in the morning and then I'll eat like a protein bar or I'll eat like a breakfast or whatever, and then I'll go and then I just won't be hungry until
and then it's like 5 p.m. You're like, I'm starving.
My stomach's about to eat itself.
I get to work around like 9:30. Every day is a little different. I have usually in the morning at least one meeting with our team, either discussing what videos are going to be going out this week, what videos everyone's working on, or just sometimes we do an editor meeting, which is just the editors, no one else, and we talk about like, hey, like X, Y, and Z keeps happening. Can someone talk to the producers, like our manager, who also is like our direct line to our producers. We'll get notes back from us and it's like, okay, so we need to change the process like this way in order to accommodate for everything.
How many other editors are there?
There are 5 of us total, including myself.
Okay.
We have Greg. He used to work for PETA.
Okay.
That's his intro. I absolutely love him. Even who looks like he walked out of like a historical Jamestown portrait.
Cool.
And then our newcomer Jared. I haven't picked out a little thing for him yet.
Okay,
he's still our newcomer.
New guy.
They're great. And then there's Crystal, who's worked there, I think, for like 10 years now. But we're a really great small team. Everyone's an amazing editor. I am the most novice out of our group, definitely.
Okay. So you've been there the least amount of time.
No. Jared is our newcomer, but Jared's been in the game longer than I have.
He's got like more experience.
I believe I am the youngest of our group.
Okay, wow.
By like a solid 8 years.
It surprises me a little because I feel like it would be a younger demographic in like that line of work.
Most of our producers are our age.
Really? Okay.
So our age or younger. It's really funny because Greg and Steven will reference something from the 80s. And I'm like, I've only ever heard of that. I wasn't existing then. Which is really, really funny. But they're great. They're great guys to learn from. Crystal, I'm learning a lot of like animation stuff from, and it's really cool.
Yeah, you say you're learning animation from Crystal?
Like graphic animation, not anything like crazy. Like I'm not going to be making the next K-pop Demon Hunters or anything. I'm not Marvel Studio animation. So.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun.
All right, so we were talking about just your team, your coworkers, and your job, and all that. So my next question was, I guess I kind of want to like see what your office. Like, I need to paint. Like, do you work in a cubicle? Do you work in like an office by yourself?
So
is
originally,
it peace and quiet in there?
Originally, I was working on what we called the floor, which is just the way our office is set up. There is office cubicles around the perimeter, and then the center is free space.
Okay, cool.
So there are computers and desks set up there. So for the start, when I was associate video editor, I was working out there, which was fine for the first like 6 to 8 months, but having ADHD, it got very difficult very quickly, and eventually I kind of went to my boss and had a mini breakdown, and I was like, I can't work in the pit anymore.
I need somewhere quiet.
You need to move me, please. and so I got one of the offices.
No
I unfortunately got the office that has 2 walls that are windows, so it gets very, very warm during the summer.
Yeah.
But I have a fan set up, so we're good.
Yeah, but you got your own office.
I do. I have my own office.
I have my own office.
I don't do well with like overhead fluorescent lights, so I keep those off, and I have LED strip lights around my office so that I can still see. Kind of in the middle, like right around my desk area, mostly because like I don't need light to edit because I need to be able to see my screen and really look at the colors, but I need light to be able to look at what's on my desk. Okay. So it's just enough light to do that.
Pretty cool.
And then I have, as you know, Josh owns a pop store, which you'll hear all about on his episode. Yeah. So I have a collection of pop and some Lego that he has given me over the years.
Sick.
As well as a little a lava rock that we got on our honeymoon.
That's cool. Where did you honeymoon to?
We honeymooned in Iceland.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember Reykjavik.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it was really cool. We went to Reykjavik. We stayed in this little hotel that was 30 to 40 minutes north of Reykjavik. That was in the middle of nowhere, and at first we were both like, oh gosh, what did I book? But it was the cutest little place. It had its own little kitchenette.
I've always wanted to go to Reykjavik. Like, that is
I highly recommend it, and honestly, if you want a great hotel, I recommend the one that we stayed at. They had a restaurant attached to it, so we mostly did dinners there.
Cool.
Whether it was we made our own food or we ordered from the restaurant and brought it back to our room.
Either way,
but
sounds pretty good to me.
But we went back and forth a lot picking what to do for our honeymoon, and we ended up going with Reykjavik because on my bucket list has always been to see the Northern Lights. And the one time that Virginia got a really good chance to see the Northern Lights was during all those fires, and we had all that smoke.
Okay.
So we couldn't see. Iceland always gets them, and so when I looked into it, we had already set our date for October 19th, and that was right at the start of Northern Light season for Iceland.
How was that you? I was like, I saw you like the day before you must have gone.
Yeah.
Did you leave like right after?
Yeah, we left. Okay. We left that Sunday at like 6 p.m.
Crazy! Wow, nice. Yeah. That's awesome. Cool wedding, by the way.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun to plan. I very much enjoyed every little bit of it. It was a great day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we left Sunday for Reykjavik, and we stayed a week and a half up there, and every night it got better and better. We didn't do a whole lot that trip.
That sounds like a good vacation to me.
It really was, because I've traveled quite a bit. I've been to Italy 3 separate times. What? I've been to France twice. I've been all up and down the East Coast. I've been to Chicago.
Go Bears.
Yeah, I'm a fairly well-traveled person. Josh, on the other hand, has only really been in like the surrounding states.
What?
And he's never left the country before.
And he went to Iceland right off the bat, huh?
Originally, he suggested going down to Florida and doing Disney World and Universal, which I would have loved to do because it was Halloween, and you know how much I love Halloween.
True, and that stuff is cool down there at Halloween time.
Yeah, it's popping during Halloween.
It's popping.
But I was like, I've been to Florida in November, and it still feels like summer. And sucks. Josh hates the summer. It's his least favorite season. Let's do it closer to winter because then it might be bearable for you.
I mean, you can always go to Disney World.
Exactly. I was also like, this is the only time, because he rarely ever gets a day off. He gets 1 week a year off because he forces the store closed for 4th of July to enjoy a week. But other than that, he rarely closes his stores. So I was like, when we get married, you're whether the stores are open or not, we're going on a honeymoon. I don't care. I want that.
Yep.
And he was like, fair. And I was like, plus it's your honeymoon. What's a better excuse for going on an extended vacation?
I mean,
so we originally planned for 2 weeks, but 2 months beforehand I got COVID. So we had to dial it back because I had to use some of my PTO days for COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still such a great
awesome.
trip. Cool. And I highly recommend it. We didn't do much. We hung out, just enjoyed each other's company for most of it. I took him horseback riding for the first time.
Sounds sick.
Yeah, and Icelandic horses are sick. They're so freaking cool. They are like the like size of a pony with the head of a normal size horse. It's really, really funny.
So you've ridden horses in Iceland.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
They are actually the most purebred horses.
The most horse a horse can be.
Yeah. So Iceland does not allow outside horses. And if you take an Icelandic horse off the island, you cannot bring it back because they don't treat them with antibiotics or anything because they aren't exposed to any of the diseases that like our horses are.
Okay.
So it was really cool. We did the Golden Circle tour where we got to see the tectonic plates, like where they meet. We got to see a geyser. It's got like I think 70 different active volcanoes at any given moment. There were no
honestly too many volcanoes.
Yeah, it's a lot of volcanoes. I won't lie, but it makes it so intriguing. It's why they have hot springs. They run on volcanic power and glacial power. I think if they could export power, they'd probably be like one of the top dogs on power exports. But you can't export that.
But I'd like to figure out how to.
For real, it would be really cool to figure out how to
export a volcano.
But sometimes they have like obviously active volcanoes that go off, and you can get close to them if it's not a crazy eruption, and you can experience it in person. But when they don't have it, there's this company called Lava Show, which was really, really freaking cool. It was the last 2 days. Josh and I had nothing planned, and I was like, we gotta find something to do, just one more thing to do.
Anything.
I was like, I don't care what it is. We were thinking about going to the phallic museum at one point, which is exactly what you're thinking. It is just a whole bunch of phallics all over.
Phallics.
Yep. And then I found the Lava Show.
Nice. That's better. That sounds better.
I think it was like $40 for the deluxe.
Hey honey, do you want to go look at a bunch of dicks or do you want to go look at lava?
For real.
Let's go with the lava.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with volcanoes.
Oh, that
so
you
thought I was going a different way with that.
I don't know where look. Bad timing.
I was obsessed with volcanoes, and so I was like, I'd really be interested in the lava show. And Josh was like, heck yeah, let's do it. So we Googled it, we bought our tickets. We ended up doing the deluxe one, which gave us a free drink, and at the end of the show we got a tour of the facility and a souvenir that they gave us. And so we
Which
went
was
through
that Lava Rock?
Yeah, that was the Lava Rock.
Nice. Oh, I made it. Full circle.
And so we got 2 of those. Josh has one, and I have the other at
very
work.
Cool.
And then after the show, they took us back and they showed us how everything worked and how they heat up all the lava, how they reuse it.
That's pretty cool.
How they collect it after the shows, because they
I would like to know.
I think they do about 4 shows a day.
Can I get a lava guy on here? I want to talk to a lava
you
guy. You
should. Look, there.
Any lava guys out there? I'd like to talk to you.
Look up that company, because
Lava Show.
the girl that did ours, I believe she was from Hawaii, I think. So I mean, there are Americans over there who are volcanologists, studying, and they're working there and they're playing with lava. It's just really, really cool.
Neat. Yeah. Pretty exciting.
I highly recommend talking to someone about that stuff because it's so cool.
I'd like to if I can.
They had to tell the group 6 times, remember, don't touch the lava, even when it's black. Don't touch it. It's still incredibly hot.
Yeah. Lava's usually never safe, is what I would.
It's never safe.
So, well, that's pretty cool. So that was your trip to Reykjavik in Iceland.
That was our honeymoon, which was a 10 out of 10.
That was. I mean, you'd already been at Snow. I'm sorry. What's the name of the company again?
Snow Companies.
Snow Companies. Okay, you'd already been there for a while.
Yeah. 2 years.
Cool.
We're now in year 3, 4.
Nice. Okay.
Like that.
Right on. I kind of want to get back into the job just a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah. Sorry, I go off on tangents.
I know, it's okay. So just a little bit. So I guess I had a question: was how long typically does it take to like edit a video? Like, what's your typical project like from start to like, when you get assigned it to like when it's back to your customer?
Yeah, so we go through quite a few different like levels of review. So usually a video is in my hands anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks.
That's like how long you're working on it?
That's how long I'm working on it, from my kickoff meeting to the day that it gets delivered to client.
Okay. How many are you working on at like a time? Like in one go?
It varies, and it depends on the project. There are some where I will only work on one video for about a week and a half before they put another video on my plate.
Okay. Because it's like a big project or something?
Yes. So essentially every video is about anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks long, and in between that we fit in another set of videos.
I see.
So
they're kind of staggered.
Yes. We go, we got first draft, which is usually like just an A roll, maybe B roll. Then we got second draft, which has music, color correction, and lower thirds, which are just like the nameplates, or like the when you're watching a commercial and they have like, call your doctor if you experience.
Lower third, like in the lower third.
Yeah,
half
on the
lower
third of the TV.
Lower third half. Dummy.
Yep.
Lower third. That's what I meant.
But that's usually around like 2 or 3 we get into those, and then the video's out of my hands usually for about a week.
Okay.
And in that week it goes to our accounts team, which they comb through the video and they make sure that the video is fully in compliance with the drug company's image of what they want to perceive. So like one time I did a video where
what they're going for.
Yeah, I did a video that was on lung cancer, and like a big thing about that video was there couldn't be any dust showing in the video, because lung cancer, you don't want to be breathing in dust.
Right.
So they combed through it and found any instance of dust, and it was like, hey, you either need to punch in or get rid. It was insane. It was the nightmare.
Yeah.
But they'll comb through and they'll find things like that to make sure that we're in compliance. And then after they get through all their comments, depending on how many they have and how severe they are, they'll either forward it to the client or they'll kick it back to me. I'll incorporate those comments and then we send it to client. And then client usually has it for a couple days, comes back with a few comments, and then that's usually right around where the process ends. Okay. Not always.
Sometimes you have to make
Sometimes
more changes.
There's more changes. Sometimes we're on version 28 of a video and they want to go back to version 10, you know?
Okay.
It happens. It happens. And a lot of times we as the editor are like, that's the version that's the best, but you do you.
Whatever. Yeah.
That's usually the average for us, but it is not always what we are doing. Like currently I am working on 3 videos all at once. Whoa. 2 of them are rush edits, meaning I got the video on Tuesday. First draft was due by end of day Wednesday. Second draft due by end of day Friday. First draft of the second video due by end of day Friday. Second draft of that video is due on Friday of this week. The third draft of the other video is due tomorrow. So there's
days at work.
Yeah, there are definitely days where it's busy, but I enjoy when I have a little more going on.
You like being busy because of the ADHD thing.
Yeah. Because of the ADHD thing, I definitely, if there's a lot of idle time, I
start to panic.
I start going a little stir crazy. I get deep into conspiracy videos on YouTube because I'm like, I got nothing better to do. Might as well learn about the Earth being flat, I guess.
Of course.
Exactly.
The moon's not real. It's made of cheese.
Exactly. Moon landing was fake.
Hello, it's me, your friend, Tyler. Just wanted to say, this episode is sponsored by The Card Guys, Richmond's go-to shop for Pokemon and sports cards. Whether you're hunting Charizards, chasing rookie cards, or ripping packs for the thrill, The Card Guys have the singles, sealed boxes, and live breaks you want. You can find them at 4915 West Broad Street, Richmond, Virginia 23230. They are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and also Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and they're closed on Sundays. You can follow them on Instagram at _card_guys with an S. So that's THE_CARD_GUYSS_ to see new arrivals, live breaks, and events. That's the Card Guys, where Pokemon trainers and sports fans score big. Cool. Thank you. Back to the show. I think it's about time to wrap this up. So
now I get to tell you the juicy stories.
Oh, all right, cool. But all right, well, yeah, I guess we'll let the listeners go. I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much for letting me interview you and figure out kind of what you do for a living. I feel like I sort of touched the surface on what you do for a living.
I mean, I find my personal life a lot more interesting than my work, and that's just because to me, editing is just something I really love to do. It's my living. It is what I do for a living.
It's good that you found something that you love that you can do for a living. Because a lot of people don't have that, and it is very important.
It definitely is.
I like my job, but I don't know if I like what I do for a living. You know what I mean? I like this. I like this podcasting, talking. I like this I like audio editing.
That's how I felt with working at the bank. I very much enjoyed my job, but I didn't really enjoy what I was doing.
Yeah, makes sense. Kind of felt like you were just sitting there waiting, kind of.
Yeah.
But. Well, we'll figure it out. Who knows? But anyway, well, thank you, Emma, for coming on.
Anytime.
All of our listeners, thank you for sticking with us on another episode of Work Friends Podcast.
Sorry if I was ranting a lot.
No, you were fine. We did great. We both have ADHD, so it's
makes for great content.
Yes, we're also pretty good at editing, so they'll never know.
You'll never know.
But anyway, so like us on all of our social medias. We're all Work Friends Podcast on Instagram, Facebook. But I don't care about that stuff. What I really care about is YouTube and Spotify. Please, like and subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify. And please give us 5 stars if you think I deserved it or we deserved it. But all right, cool. We'll let them go. Thank you all. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye.